Senator Marcoleta. This was brought about by the public information made during an interview regarding a supposed contribution but were not declared in his sources. So the COMELEC on its own issued a show cause order which was scheduled to be heard on December 22. But unfortunately, Senator Marcoleta filed a motion for extension which was routinely granted, and the hearing was set on January 6th. So the January 6th hearing proceeded with the senator submitting his answer to the supposed show cause order. And now, since January 6th, we have been awaiting for the Political Finance and Affairs Department to conclude their investigation and issue their recommendation. Now, per the information given by Chairman Garcia, we were supposed, the PIFAD was supposed to submit to the Commission and Bank their recommendation as regards the fact-finding investigation. However, on March 5, we had formally received from the Office of the Ombudsman an endorsement for a criminal complaint filed by Professor Danilo Arao and the Contra Daya Group and the advocate. And this time, this is a formal case. So the case was forwarded to the COMELEC Law Department, which was tasked now to conduct a preliminary investigation, a formal preliminary investigation. And as we know, compared to the fact-finding investigation being conducted by the PIFAD, it's an administrative issue. And this criminal investigation takes precedence over that. And that's why there may be several prejudicial questions and issues. That's why PIFAD withheld its recommendation, and they may be even called by the law department during the preliminary investigation. So what will happen is that this preliminary investigation will take precedence over the previously conducted fact-finding investigation.
So merong mga insinuation din na meron daw yatang binago si Senator Marcoleta dun sa kanyang yung mga declaration niya. Ano lang naman, unverified daw yan. Can you comment on that?
Naku, wala po, ma'am. Because nung na-submit po sa amin ng sources, they were even made public. Nakapost po yan sa website po namin. So medyo imposible po na makapagbabago pa. Given na nung in-upload po namin yan, ay in-announce po namin at alam po namin maraming nag-download, maraming nag-screenshot. So medyo imposible po yung tatabihin na may babaguhin pa patungkol dito sa submission sa amin.
So, sir, if you can, could you please review for us kung ano yung depensa na sinabit ni Senator Marcoleta dun sa kanyang filings? Exactly what did he allege or what did he claim to be part of his defense?
Opo, in a nutshell po, for the fact-finding investigation, ang defense po niya ay yes, meron siyang tinanggap na contributions, but these contributions were received prior to the campaign period. At ang depensa po niya dito is that yung Section 16 ng Republic Act 9369 na nadesisyonan din po ng Supreme Court sa Peñera versus COMELEC na kahit nakapag-file ka na ng Certificate of Candidacy, hindi ka pa kandidato at lahat ng pinagbabawal, lahat ng obligation sa kandidato ay hindi pa maipapataw sa iyo until the first day of the campaign period. Yun po yung kanyang depensa doon po sa supposedly undeclared contribution.
Yes, sir. I do recall Peñera. Pero sir, how much did he claim to have received as a non-candidate between the time he filed the COC and the time that the campaign period started?
So, supposedly, based on his source po, lumalabas wala pong contributors.
Opo, walang contributors.
To be checked. Opo, wala pong contributors dyan. Parang lumalabas po, everything that he spent came out from his pocket po dahil wala pong nilista na contributor po.
Opo, his spending, I think, amounted to mga 139, at least his declared spending, 139 million. Yun lang kasi, I don't want to assume that all 139 million came from the donated the donations allegedly made before he became candidate. Diba? He might also claim that some of it came from his own assets. But did he give a number as to how much he supposedly received as contributions?
I haven't seen his yung exact po niya na answer. But doon nga po natin malalaman, doon po sa lumalabas na kanyang resolution sana ng PIFAD. Pero at the same time po, ganito, yung pong gaganapin ng preliminary investigation, this time po makakatanggap ng summons si Senator Marcoleta, and he will be asked to submit his answer and at the same time to adduce his defense, his evidence tungkol po dun sa allegation. Ang maganda po kasi dito, yung nauna po kasing investigation, hindi po kagad matatapos dun ang istorya dahil ang mangyari po niyan, titignan kung meron bang violation, mauuwi rin po, ipafile din ng PIFAD dun sa aming law department for the conduct of preliminary investigation. Ang maganda po dito sa latest case, diretso na po kagad ito sa preliminary investigation. And after this, kung meron pong finding ng probable cause ang COMELEC Law Department, mauwi po tayo sa filing ng criminal information for election offense sa regional trial court po.
I asked that, sir, kasi we just talked to the BIR spokesperson just a few minutes before you came online, and we asked in particular about this case. At ang sabi sa amin ni Attorney De Los Santos, tagapagsalita ng BIR, any person who accepts a donation before the start of the campaign period should have paid donor's tax of 6%.
Tama po kayo. Kaya nga po ganito, nagja-drive po yung ating mga batas patungkol po sa taxes, specifically the donor tax, at patungkol naman po dito sa contributions received for campaign. Ang pagkaka-drive po yan kasi, kapag ikaw ay tumanggap specifically for campaign expenses at gagamitin mo yun doon, lumalabas po kasi wala tong buwis. Ano naman ang kapalit nito? Kailangang i-deklara mo ito para masabi natin na talagang ginastos ito sa pangangampanya at hindi ito nasasaklaw ng pangangailangan ng buwis. Ano? And at the same time, sa kabila po, tama rin po, kami naniniwala sumusunod dito sa BIR. Dahil kung i-declare mo naman na hindi ito para sa labas pa dun sa sinasabing pag-uutos ng batas sa pangangampanya, pagiging kandidato, dapat naman talaga meron po na tinatawag na donor tax for any contributions or donations. Lumalabas po kasi donation po ito eh. Pagdating sa mata ng BIR, donation po ito na marireceive nila.
Pero sir, when is it your jurisdiction and when is it the BIR's jurisdiction? I think that might be the next question now. Which agency takes precedence over which case, especially if it's going to be a criminal case? Who takes charge?
Opo, Sir Ed, kasama po ito doon sa hinihintay namin na mariresolve dahil nga ang issue po talaga dito lumalabas pa hindi itinanggi na merong contributions na natanggap. Pero ang sinasabi, tinanggap niya ito, hindi pa siya kandidato. Now, two questions. First, ito bang tinanggap na contributions na ito na para supposedly sa pangangampanya ngunit tinanggap ng hindi pa sa kandidato ay kailangan din maideklara sa SOSE? At ang kasunod na question po nun, kung hindi kinakailangan, dinalabas nga po parang ito'y donasyon na masasaklaw po ng mga batas patungkol po sa mga donasyon po.
Okay, pero sir, I go back to my question. So sino dapat ang
Sino
sorry, we're not lawyers. Pero
okay.
sino po dapat ang who takes charge of any case, if at all?
Opo, yun nga po, precisely because this one involves not just a question of facts po but a question of law. Yun po yung gusto nang masagot ng ating COMELEC TIFAD at ng COMELEC Law Department. Masasaklaw ba talaga ng batas ng pagdedeklara sa SOSE?
Yeah.
Dahil pag ito'y saklaw ng batas ng pagdedeklara sa SOSE, yung mga contributions na ito, kahit hindi pa siya kandidato, sa COMELEC po yan. COMELEC po ang hahabol at mag-audit at mag-check ng compliance sa mga requirements niyan. Ngunit kung mapapatunayan po sa batas na hindi po sa amin ang saklaw nito, definitely po merong nakasasaklaw nito na ahensya ng pamahalaan and most likely it will be the Bureau of Internal Revenue po.
Usapin lang naman ang common sense yun
are you-
Binigyan ka ng contribution, kahit hindi ka pa officially a candidate, pero ginamit mo sa kampanya, di ba campaign contribution din ang labas doon?
Pero mga abogado, ano yun eh?
The other thing, attorney, is whether you will require him to still disclose the names of his contributors. Sinabi na nito ni COMELEC Chair George Garcia, Section 98 of the Election Code requires the disclosure of contributors' real names and prohibits the use of aliases or pseudonyms. So what will you do on that?
Tama po kayo. Talagang malinaw po yan. Actually, sunod-sunod po yan. Pag sinimulan po natin sa Section 95, malinaw po yung mga ipinagbabawal na contributions mula sa mga bawal mag-contribute. Kasunod po yan. Yung nakalista po yan. Sunod-sunod. 96, 97, 98, 99. Yung pong pagdi-disclose nga po ng lahat, dapat buong pangalan, hindi pwedeng aliases. Nandyan din po kasunod sa mga batas na yan, yung mga prohibited na fundraising, yung mga bawal na mga matanggap, pati nga po nakalista dyan yung sa mga corporations, foreign entities. Kaya kung titignan po natin ang batas insofar as that is concerned, malinaw po yung requirement. Saan po tayo nagkakaproblema talaga? Pumasok po kasi talaga yung issue, naging legal issue po yung talaga na kailan ba i-require tayo lahat ito at kailan ka man nagiging kandidato. Kaya nga po nabanggit ko kahapon kila Sir Ed po na in fact nangunguna po ang COMELEC na maamyendahan na ang batas na ito dahil ito rin po yung nagbigay sa amin ng problema na nawala na po yung pagbabawal namin sa premature campaigning. Dahil nga po kiniklaim nilang lahat na hindi na sila kandidato. Hindi po katulad dito sa Omnibus Election Code na hindi po yung automated election flow. Once nag-file ka ng CSE, kandidato ka na, lahat ng pagbabawal nakapataw na po sa kanila.
Attorney,
Patingin niya, may suporta kayo niyan sa Congress, attorney. Kasi yung mukhang yung mga politiko mismo may gusto niyang ganyang setup eh. You think you will get support from Congress for that amendment?
Meron naman pong assurance dahil nga po nung sinusulong po namin ito, maganda naman po reception. Actually, we filed this po as early as the 18th Congress. Nung po 19th Congress
Yes.
na po, binalangtas na namin, revised Omnibus Election Code. Unfortunately,
Oo nga, paulit-ulit
hindi nga po
siya
naging batas. Hindi po kami susuko. Itong 20th Congress po, ipa-file pong muli ng COMELEC po ito.
Attorney, on another separate case.
Wait. Let me just finish this point. Kasi I completely agree. Omnibus Election Code is pretty clear. Articles 95 to 99, when you read it, malinaw naman what the law is trying
Premature
to
campaigning.
prohibit, premature campaigning, and then there's also conflicts of interest when it comes to campaign donations. And yet, With the case of Senator Cheese Escudero, this was dropped by COMELEC eventually for lack of probable cause. Kahit na the donation of, I think it was 13 million by Lawrence Lubiano, who is
13.
behind Centerways construction.
Tama po.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to point out that, yes, the law is clear, but what has the COMELEC done about it, right?
Pero yun ang tanong ko eh.
Ay, sorry.
Dahil-
Akala ko
Di
iba
ba siya,
issue.
di ba siya na-resolve ng COMELEC, di ba, attorney?
No, they-
Isang committee pa lang yun.
Hindi na nila inakyat sa unbanked because it was not adversarial. Is that correct?
Yes, pero may nagsampang
Tama po,
kaso.
tama po.
Sila
Doon
Attorney
po sa
Francis.
kaso naman po ni Senator Escudero po, ang nangyari po kasi doon, based on the writings of the law, yung Section 95C. And ang nakalagay po kasi doon, no person or juridical entity na kasama na may contracts with the government. So in plain words, yun po ang sinabi ng TIFAD na in so far as the person is concerned, sinearch na po namin ang lahat, wala po na siya mismo ang may kontrata. At in so far as the corporation, meron po talaga, no? Eh, hindi naman ma-deny na incorporator po siya. And that's where the problem came po. Hindi po pinyers ng ating batas yung pong pagdating sa existence ng juridical entity. Kaya nga kasama rin po ito dun sa nais namin malinawan, maamyendahan. Dahil maari po itong maging shield eventually ng mga magiging contributors po na pinagbabawal. Eh, hindi naman ako in person yung corporation ko.
Pero di ba, attorney, may nagsampa na ng kaso? Yung una kasing case, doon sa inyong isang department, motopropyo
PFAD.
yun eh. May nagsampa na ng case sa COMELEC, yung grupo nila Attorney Francis, para dyan sa pag-pierce ng corporate bail, etc. Ano po yung status nun?
Ongoing po ang preliminary investigation dyan. Yan nga po yung sinasabi namin din na maganda po dito. Hindi na po ito fact-finding investigation. Adversarial na po ito dahil criminal investigation na po ito.
Di ba pwede apply na lang common sense doon sa juridical entity?
Yeah, because-
Siyempre, merong mga...
Sabi-
di ba?
oh,
Kung ikaw ang may-ari, siyempre, how
Yeah.
can you not be identified as a
And
juridical
because
entity?
attorney, you said
Diba?
this might be used as a shield. It's already being used,
Oh,
right?
it is being used. Yeah.
oo, we keep coming back to what you said earlier, which is klaro naman yung batas. The law
The
is very
intention.
clear what it is trying to
Yeah.
avoid, which is conflict of interest, and yet we can't seem to enforce it.
Ang problem po kasi ng COMELEC, we cannot interpret what the law is all about. We can only implement in so far as the word itself is concerned. Kaya nga po, kung sabi namin, kung merong aakyat dito papunta sa Supreme Court, mas matutuwa po ang COMELEC dahil sa pamamagitan po ng decisions ng Supreme Court clarifying existing laws, maliliwanagan po ang lahat. Kung merong deficiency ang batas, makaklaro rin po yun. Makikita rin po doon sa desisyon ng Supreme Court. Kaya nga po talagang sabi
Pero
namin dito...
akala ko sabi ni Chairman Garcia, kapag ganyan daw na gray area, the COMELEC will exercise its discretion and interpret sa, yun ang ating sinasabi ko, use your common sense. Tapos bahala na kung sino yung apektado to bring it up to the Supreme
That's
Court.
true. I remember
for
that.
whether affirmation or whatever.
That's true, Ami. I remember that conversation as well. We
Yeah,
asked
yeah, di
Chair
ba?
George Garcia about this before. I think it was
Yeah.
before the midterm elections, right? Or was it after?
Yeah. Yeah, he was
Tama
saying
po,
na kapag juridical entity, malinaw na malinaw yung batas. Pag juridical entity. Oh,
Yes po. Nung
kaya
binasa po
nakakagulat
namin-
ngayon
Opo.
na bakit nagkaganon yung ruling.
Nung binasa po namin yung recommendation ng TIFAD, that's exactly po ang sinabi po nila, no? Meron talagang limitasyon po sa pag-i-interpret. At yun nga po pag-i-interpret na yan should be guided by existing jurisprudence on the matter. Ang problema po kasi, lumalabas kauna-unahan po ito in so far as Section 95 is concerned. Kaya po walang binalikan yung aming isang departamento kundi i-interpret based on the plain word doctrine po kung ano po yung meaning in plain ng mga salita po na nandun sa batas. Kaya po nung nakaseparate siya is either a person or a juridical entity po na may kontrata sa pamahalaan. Eh nung sabi po nila, yung person itself, yung himself, walang kontrata. But the juridical entity, yun nga po ang meron. Pero dahil nga po ang depensa ay based on his own person, yung pagko-contribute niya, doon po nagkaroon ng kanilang problema po.
Hindi naman gumagalaw yung juridical entity mag-isa, no? Ano yun eh. Siyempre yung yung tao ang gumagalaw doon, di ba? Hindi naman.
Tama po.
Non-living
We
yun
agree.
eh, juridical
Kaya nga po,
entity. Siyempre, magdidesisyon doon tao. Di ba?
Tama po,
Siyempre, ang
marami
masusunod
kami
doon yung
fully
may-ari.
agree.
Sino ba may-ari ng kumpanyang yun? I mean, I'm just
Opo.
asking.
We fully agree po. Kaya nga
Kasi
po,
ang buong
yun po
akala
yung-
namin, yung juridical entity will be identified with the owner. Di ba?
Opo.
Alam mo
We
yung janitor na
fully agree po,
nag-file
kaya-
ng nag-contribute doon.
Opo.
Di ba? Oh.
Yun po yung nakita naming deficiency sa Section 95C. Hindi po katulad ng ating existing na corporation code, malinaw kung kailan ipipierce ang corporate veil. Pagdating po dito sa 95C, wala po kasing ganong provision kung kailan ipipierce ang corporate veil. Ang nagkaroon na po na distinction whether you're a person or a juridical entity.
Well, Attorney, I think
Meron
the
din
issue...
kasi with the case of Senator Chis Escudero kasi there are many other I mean, if you really wanted to look, there are many other connections that may have fallen in the gray area. For instance, it was reported that he was also campaigning for the Lubiano, the brother of what's his name, Lawrence
Lubiano.
Lubiano, who became, I think, a councilor or I
Yeah,
was trying to look it up, a town
in the
mayor of
LGU.
Sorsogon. So marami naman connections doon that if you really wanted to look, that you'll be able to find.
Maraming
And-
smoking guns.
Opo, no? Yes po. Kaya lang po, we have to separate kasi yung issue nga po dito ay yung contribution talaga. That it fall under the prohibition of Section 95C. Yun po yung issue na nalimit dito. Pero nothing naman po prevents anyone from filing a case. Again, patungkol po doon kung may makikita pang ibang violation. At ang sinasabi nga po namin dito, itong pagdating sa election offense, ang prescription po nito ay 5 taon. Kaya po kung halimbawa meron pong mahuhukay, meron makapagsusumite, meron makapagpapile sa COMELEC, hindi pa naman po prescribe po ito. And in the first place po, yung nauna namang investigation ay hindi pa naman po ito yung hindi pa naman po itong preliminary investigation. Yung pong sa PIFAD ay lumalabas sa fact-finding investigation po. So open pa naman din po ang pinto patungkol dito.
I think, Attorney, the big issue for a lot of people, including us, na hindi naman abogado, is that the COMELEC chose to take a plain reading of the words of the law instead of looking at the spirit of the law, which you also acknowledged naman kanina. The spirit of the law basically says that you're trying to avoid a conflict of interest. And clearly, in these cases, there does appear to be a conflict of interest. So, yun lang po. Parang the spirit of the law versus the plain
The
reading
letter
of the language
the
of
semantics.
Okay.
Doon po medyo nagkaroon ng hiccup, if at all.
Opo, meron din po kasing doktrina regarding the spirit of the law na diyan ka pupunta kung hindi malinaw doon sa words ng law. Ibig kong sabihin nito, kung sa plain words ng batas po ay hindi maintindihan o magulo, tsaka ka po pupunta doon sa spirit of the law.
Yeah.
At base po sa opinion ng aming Political Finance and Affairs Department, malinaw po yung distinction na nilagay sa Section 95C. Kaya nga po sabi namin, hindi katulad ng Corporation Code, merong instances kung kailan mo talagang kailangan i-pierce ang corporate bill. Pero pagdating po sa ating Omnibus Election Code, wala po yung provision na yun. Merong lang clear distinction between a person and a juridical entity.
Pasensya na, attorney, if we're pressing you on this because honestly, this issue is
Okay lang po.
a recurring one and it is a long-standing issue na until now has clearly not been resolved. And we're just a little
Pero
frustrated.
attorney, wala bang precedent cases tungkol dyan?
Wala po actually, Secretary Ronald. Yun nga po ang problema. Sabi po namin, kung meron po sana, baka po dyan pumasok yung kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan, piercing the corporate veil doctrine, yung pong spirit of the law. Doon po namin makikita lahat yan kung meron po sana.
Attorney Laujanco,
Sana tinesting nyo na, attorney. Para merong parang judicial. Merong
Pero we can test the law.
case
May precedent na.
sakaling umakit sa Supreme Court, di ba?
yeah.
Opo,
Yan
may
ang
proseso
pagkaintindi
po
namin
kasi
gagawin actually ni Chairman Garcia eh. Sige, testingin na lang natin yan kasi malabo eh.
Opo.
Yan ang akala namin
Meron po
mangyayari. Anyway, hindi
Opo,
nangyari.
dahil-
So, the end na po yung case na yon, attorney. Unless someone else
Meron
files
pa naman po-
another complaint.
Insofar as the fact-finding investigation po, yun po yung sinasabi natin na may recommendation na na-terminate na. But gaya nga po ng na-remind po ni Secretary Ronald, meron pa pong ongoing na preliminary investigation doon po sa isang kaso na sinampa sa COMELEC Law Department.
Attorney Laujanco, the last time we spoke to COMELEC Chair George Garcia, he said that COMELEC was investigating about 50 other contractors who contributed to campaigns in the 2022 and 2025 elections. Tsaka may mga more senators were involved. Whatever happened to that?
Tuloy-tuloy po yan. Doon po sa findings po ron, merong iniimbestigahan ng ilang party list. Meron po kaming nakita na tinutuloy po yung investigation ngayon patungkol sa isang governor, meron din pong vice governor, meron din pong mayor. Proceeding po yan at yan po hindi naman po bumibitiw pa ang Commission on Elections po.
How much longer do you think it's gonna take? Because the last time, matagal na since we last spoke to Chair Garcia and he said, you're looking into it. Medyo matagal-tagal na, sir.
Mamadaliin daw.
Opo po, ganito po kasi wala pong hard and fast rule pagdating sa investigation. Gaya nga po ng naipapaliwanag na namin lagi, dapat kung ano man ang kalalabasan ng investigation, hindi pwede po itong half-baked. Bakit? Dahil po ang resulta nito ay either magsasampa kami ng kasong kriminal na dadaan sa preliminary investigation at ultimately po pag ganyan ang goal mo, kailangan titindig sa korte ang lahat. Mula doon po sa findings of fact hanggang doon sa ebidensya na nakuha, hanggang doon po sa batas na gagamitin. Kaya po kami po pagdating sa COMELEC, hindi po namin pinipressure talaga yung mga investigador. Hinahayaan po namin. In fact, hindi kino-confine ang kanilang authority na mag-investigate at manganap ng ebidensya kung saan doon sa mga naikomite lang. Medyo malawak po ang leeway ng investigador po pagdating sa ganyan.
Any other senators being investigated that have not been named?
Sa ngayon po, parang wala naman po na so far as the contract is concerned kasi po nag-certify naman po ang ating DPWH nung hiningan po namin sila. At yun nga po yung nakita namin, yung pong may ilang party list na patuloy na imbestigahan, may governor, may vice governor at mayor.
But sir, being a government contractor isn't just confined to being DPWH contractor. Pwede ka rin contractor sa DepEd, pwede ka rin contractor sa DOT, and so on and so forth, DSWD. Were you able to check?
Opo, ongoing din po yung checking yan. Sinasabi nga po namin, hindi limited sa infrastructure. Pwede po sa goods, pwede sa services. In fact, pwede po sa consultancy. Sa lahat ng pinapasok po ng gobyerno na kontrata ay talagang papasok yung pagbabawal. Kaya medyo mahaba po talaga yung investigation nila. In fact, kung titignan nyo nga po, ang unang nagpahirap po sa COMELEC ay wala po kaming data patungkol sa mga kontrata. Kailangan namin magdepende sa ibang ahensya para lang makuha. At yung nga pong certification, ilang buwan bago namin nakuha mula sa DPWH. Meron pa rin po kami mga hinihingan ngayon ng mga ibang ahensya patungkol dito.
Well, ang problema kasi, attorney, maraming horror stories tungkol dyan sa mga kaso sa COMELEC. Halimbawa, for one, ay alam yung kaso ng isa kong kaibigan na naging congressman siya for 1 day sa Pasig. No, ibig sabihin na-resolve yung election case niya just 1 day bago magkaroon ng expiry yung term. No, so, yung ibig sabihin, naunawaan namin na maraming proseso na dinadaanan, pero sana naman hindi umabot sa next election. Yung resolution ng mga kaso na yan.
Kasi po kami dyan, Secretary Ronald. Totoo naman po yan at hindi po namin itatanggi kahit po ako naging witness na meron kaming naiproklama na kandidato 2 weeks before the next election. Pero kung titignan niyo po yung recent na mga resolution ng Commission on Elections and Bank, napakalaki na po na pinagbago. Na-resolve na po namin hanggat maaari bago maghalalan. At yun nga po ang balak namin sa 2028. Baka po instead na October ang filing po natin ng Certificate of Candidacy, October 2027, baka gawin po namin ng mas maaga, July, as early as July. Bakit? Dahil lang gusto po namin dito, lahat ng maisasampang kaso, maresolve namin bago pa man po tayo mag-imprenta ng balota by January 2028. Nang sa gayon, hindi po malilito ang ating kababayan, lahat ng issues resolved na. At ang pinakamaganda po dito, at hindi naman po ito isang beses lang nangyari, mabibigyan po natin ang Supreme Court ng sansa na desisyonan din kung ano man naging desisyon ng COMELEC. Dahil meron din po instances na gano'n na nakapag-desisyon po kami, ngunit ultimately naiakyat kami sa Supreme Court, medyo minsan nababaligtad kami, minsan nasusustain kami, may epekto po ito pagdating sa dynamic ng halalan.
And the other thing you have to wait for as well is the anti-dynasty bill law, if it becomes a law. But we'll leave that there. Thank you so much for talking to us and explaining all of that comprehensively. That was COMELEC spokesperson, Attorney John Rex Laudianco.
Salamat,
sir.
attorney.
Thank you, attorney.
Thank you,
Maraming salamat po,
Attorney.
mabuhay po kayo. Thank you po.
Gangster, you know, we do that better than anybody. I bet you got it twisted, you don't know who to trust. So many player hating niggas trying to sound like us. Say they ready for the front, but I don't think they know it. Straight to the depths of hell is where them cowards going. Well, all you still down, nigga, holler when you see me. And let these devils dissolve for the day they finally free me. I got a caravan of niggas every time we ride. Hitting motherfuckers up when we pass by. Until I die, live a life of